Behind me, you're looking at the world-famous Blue Angels. We're here at Dobbins Air Force Base in Atlanta, and another great organization is the Aflac Cancer Center at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, one of the premier facilities in the world helping children who are fighting cancer. And that's what we're about to talk to. They have a great organization and a campaign called Beads of Courage. And one of the beads is the wingman. And you know, when you look at those jets, you think of Top Gun. And of course, you need your wingman in life. Joining us now is a cancer survivor herself, Laura Stewart, a young teenager, and Dr. Howard joining us live now from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Conn Jackson.
Laura, why don't you start us off and tell us about the Beads of Courage?
Well, the Beads of Courage is a program that was established by a nurse a few years ago. That basically is every time a child gets treatment, so chemotherapy or any sort of treatment like that, or like a scan, they get a bead to signify that they've accomplished that thing. So it's a program just to give kids courage and to give them, a sense of, just hope that, they can put all these things behind them. So it's an incredible program.
Laura, I know you're an inspiration to so many. Tell us about your diagnosis and your story.
Yes, I was diagnosed when I was 15, back in 2007, with osteosarcoma, which is a type of bone cancer. And then I was treated for 8 months on chemotherapy and a surgery and physical therapy. And then I was cancer-free for 18 months after that. And then I went through, the year, and I was cancer-free. And then in February of this year, so 2010, I relapsed with osteosarcoma in my lungs. So currently I'm going through just the chemotherapy and the treatments for that.
Well, Laura, our prayers and well wishes are with you. You are a real fighter. What would you say to others that are facing challenges?
Well, there's a lot of things you can say, but for me, it's just keep fighting and keep going forward, because one day you're going to reach the end of everything, the end of your treatments, and you're going to be done with it at some point. So just keep fighting, because, every time you go in for chemo, you're fighting this disease and you're going to win. You hope to win. So, I just hope that people can, take that and, go forward.
Those are great words of inspiration. And Laura, share with us what these beads have come to mean to you.
Well, the beads for me, kind of like I said before, they are a way for me just to signify, this is my journey. This is what I've gone through. And, it's taken courage, and it's taken a lot of heartache. But I've also been blessed, through this whole journey. And it also bonds me to the other kids that are going through cancer. That they have hard things that they're going through too. And there might be a 3-year-old who has 3 necklaces, 4 or 5 necklaces full of stuff, and I had 3 necklaces. So, it's an incredible program that I'm really fortunate to be a part of.
Well, Laura, I'm just curious, do you have the brand new wingman bead?
I do not currently have the wingman bead, because that is a very new program. This is the first that I've heard about it, like the last few weeks. So, the wingman program is a bead that someone can purchase in the community for someone with cancer, so for a child with cancer. And so, once I get the wingman bead, the child can look down and say, hey, I have a wingman out there. I have someone who is behind me who I don't even know. It definitely gives that child hope. So I'm very excited to see the widespread use of this program.
Well, Dr. Howard, tell me how I can get that wingman bead for her.
Well, you can go to beadsofcourage.org and you can learn more about the program, and you can actually buy her wingman bead for $5. And if you happen to know other kids around the country who have cancer, you can buy a flock of wingman beads, 5 for $25, and then you will get one of your own. It's kind of apropos that you're there with the Blue Angels, where they fly with their wingman there for support. And again, here, what Laura's going through is as tough, if not tougher, and it's really important for her and all the children that we treat across the country to have support, and the wingman bead is our way of promoting that.
Well, Dr. Howard, tell us how important it is for you to be part of the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta system.
Well, we're very fortunate to be here at the Aflac Cancer Center. We have this terrific partnership with Aflac for the last decade. A lot of their support goes to what we call our family support team. So not only do we have the excellent medical care and the research going on, but we have the resources to provide patients and their families with what they need to get through the experience. And this program is supported mainly by our nurses who want to make sure that they're not only giving the best care to our patients, but they're really supporting their families, their mind, giving them the motivation to do what they need to do each day to face their battle. And I feel really privileged to be part of the Aflac Cancer Center and to be able to help patients like Laura.
Doctor, I know you have the privilege, along with your staff, to work with Laura. What have you learned about her?
Well, I've known Laura for a little while now, and you know, she went through her treatment the first time and everything went well, and then unfortunately, as she mentioned, her cancer came back, but she's back in remission and she's doing everything she can, and we are, to keep it there. So she's been through a number of surgeries and too many chemotherapy treatments to count, and she's supposed to be at Georgia in her college career, but she's not. She's dealing with us now, but our hope is that we can get her through the treatment, which will hopefully finish sometime this year, and we can get her back on the path for what she's supposed to be doing for the rest of her life.
Well, Laura, I'm excited to hear you're going to be a bulldog.
Yes, I am at some point.
Well, Laura, after you graduate, what do you want to be?
I want to be a child life specialist, which many people don't know what that is, but it is someone who basically, like the title says, they help make the child's life better in a hospital situation. So they have many that work in the Aflac Cancer Center, and they're just incredible people, and they're so kind and so nice, and they do a lot more than just the day-to-day things in a hospital, but that's what I'm hoping to go for.
Well, Laura, you're going to be a great one indeed. And Doctor, thank you for your time. And last words from you, Laura, words of encouragement to all of us.
Well, you're going to get through it, and there's someone out there who's rooting for you and that wants you to pull through. So just keep fighting.
God bless you and continued success. And thank you, Doctor, for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a great inspiration. If you want to learn more about the Beads of Courage, you can log on to our Get Connected website at conntv.com. Coming up, we've got interviews with the Snowbirds and the Air Force parachute team. They are awesome, and you'll want to hear from them when we come back.